A young Alice Springs motorcyclist is preparing to take the ride of his life. Despite a life-changing accident, Isaac Elliot is determined to conquer Australia's toughest off-road event, the Fink Desert Race. And as Kirsty Nankara reports, nothing will stop him in his quest to become the next king of the desert.
Riding's probably my life, definitely. I don't really know what adrenaline is, but if it's that thing that makes you go, yeah, this is sick, and makes you just want to jump higher and go around the corner faster, then I guess that's adrenaline and that's what you get.
Isaac Elliot believes life isn't worth living if he can't race his motorcycle, and this 21-year-old is no ordinary competitor. Isaac Elliot almost died chasing his dream of racing in one of Australia's toughest off-road events, and now he's preparing to risk everything once again.
I could be dead, so could everyone else that's racing. I mean, I guess it's that adrenaline rush that gets 500 people to race.
We've tried bribery, everything, but we can't talk him out of it. My fears are that he'll fall off, but that's Isaac's choice. He's an adult and it's his goal.
He's a strong charactered person. Haven't met anyone else like him with the determination that he has.
Isaac Elliott's lifelong love affair with riding began when he was just 9 years old.
He's always been involved with bicycles, BMX, tricycles, anything. If there was a hill, he was down it on anything.
It was just, I guess it was an outlet, because I'm a bit of a nutcase. I guess it was an outlet. It still is.
What followed was the beginning of a promising career. Then last year, Isaac Elliot almost paid the ultimate price for his passion. He was on a training run, preparing to make his debut in the Fink Desert Race when he crashed.
I guess I just came over a small rise into a corner, and it was just tighter than what I thought. Sort of a blind corner, and just sort of overshot it. Picked the line through the trees, but jumped off the track on an angle and cleaned them up. It's pretty gnarly.
I'd only just given him a lecture only a few days earlier about being on the track and just ride it, don't race it. So when a call comes for Isaac, it's always bad. If you get the call, it's bad.
The accident left Isaac Elliot a paraplegic. Despite facing a life without the use of his legs, Isaac Elliott's thoughts soon returned to racing.
In the first, 2 days it wasn't on my mind, and then after that I was riding again in my mind. And then 6 months later I was riding again. And the rest of me, I guess.
But getting back his competitive strength wasn't without its challenges. It took months of intense physiotherapy.
He was a very motivated young man who obviously was still struggling to come to terms with the fact that his legs didn't work after his horrific accident. He is so determined he's going to achieve things that no one else has achieved, that's for sure.
A specially modified motorbike was also needed to make up for the fact Isaac Elliot can't use his legs.
We've built a roll cage that keeps him on the bike and keeps his legs secure, his feet on the foot pegs. So if he does come off, he's not going to do any more damage to himself.
In November last year, Isaac Elliot achieved what many believed was impossible when he took out the 2007 Alice Springs Motocross Series.
I did see him ride for the first time, and I was a wreck, but his smile was worth it.
But the 21-year-old still wasn't satisfied. He was determined to tackle an even bigger challenge, the Fink Desert Race.
Fink Desert Race would have to be one of the toughest off-road races in Australia, particularly for bikes. 450 kilometre round trip over 2 days through all sorts of harsh terrain.
In order to race, Isaac Elliot had to meet strict conditions set by Motorcycling Australia.
Isaac needs to have 2 support riders that will follow along behind him to assist him in the case of any mishap. He has needed to undergo a medical assessment to deal with his physical and his emotional fitness for the event. And his bike, which has had some modifications done to it, they need to be approved by our scrutineers.
It's here at the Fink starting line just south of Alice Springs that Isaac Elliot will roar off the grid and into the record books. He'll be among a record field of 500 riders on June the 8th, and he'll be the first paraplegic rider in the event's 33-year history to attempt the Fink Desert Race on a two-wheeled bike. Five-time Fink winner Randall Gregory knows just how hard the race could be for Isaac Elliot. Randall Gregory made a comeback on a quad bike after an accident left him paralysed from the waist down.
You know, you can walk around and you can race fine, you know, most of your like when you're able, but once you've already had an injury, it sort of starts to, you think, well, you know, you don't want to do it twice. So, you know, I gave it away basically.
He was on a quad, and I've heard he done damage to his lower back. But I'm on a bike which has better suspension, so I'm sort of taking precautions to make sure that in the riding that I don't get hurt. So I crash. Yeah, well, I've got two support riders that ride with me, so if I fall over, then they'll get me back up. Yeah, if I'm injured, I'll just, I know, duct tape myself back together and keep going.
This year, I think it'll just be make sure we make it there and back. Isaac being Isaac, he's certainly gets a bee under his bonnet sometimes and he has to go fast, so we'll see how we go, I suppose.
Isaac Elliot's mother is understandably nervous. While she acknowledges he needs to ride the Fink race to get it out of his system, she fears another accident.
My fears are that he'll fall off and hurt his arms and then he won't be able to transfer, which makes him bedridden then, because he won't be able to get in and out of bed. At the moment, he's fully independent by himself. He does everything by himself.
Even that possibility can't dampen her son's enthusiasm for racing. He says nothing will stop him chasing his dream.
Could anyone talk you out of going in Fink?
Nah. I never thought about not riding. Never crossed my mind that I wouldn't ride.
Best of luck to him. Kirsty Nankaro reporting there.